All right, let's trade in these winter blues, shall we? Let's head to Brazil, to the vibrant heart of Rio de Janeiro, for a deep dive.
Rio, oh, it's a city that truly ignites the senses. Get ready to practically feel that warm sand and taste a caipirinha.
Now, you know our listener wants to really experience a place deeply. So, no tourist traps for us.
Rare.
We want those little details that make a trip memorable, the hidden gems.
Absolutely. This is about crafting a 3-day Rio experience, tailored for someone ready to embrace it all, the soul of this incredible city.
Okay, day one. Where do we even begin?
We start with the icon, the one that's practically synonymous with Rio, Christ the Redeemer. But here's the twist. Imagine going up Corcovado Mountain, not by van, but on a train. A cog train winding through Tijuca Forest.
Oh, a train. What makes it so special?
It's like a journey within a journey. See, as you go up, you'll catch glimpses of the favelas on the hillsides, offering a unique perspective, of the city's social fabric. Plus, the train itself, it's got this vintage charm.
That's fascinating. So not just transport. It's like a glimpse into Rio's personality.
Okay,
Christ the Redeemer. Check. Breathtaking views. Check. What's next?
next we're off to Sugarloaf Mountain, but not just any time of day. Late afternoon. That magical hour when the sun begins to set.
Okay, why late afternoon?
Picture this. You're in a cable car bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun. Below you, Guanabara Bay shimmers. The beaches stretch out like ribbons of gold. The city, it's ablaze with warm light, pure magic.
Okay, you've sold me. Christ the Redeemer in the morning. Sugarloaf at golden hour. But what about the evening? Rio's legendary energy, where does that fit in?
For that, we're venturing into Lapa, Rio's heart of nightlife. And it's not just the samba clubs. Lapa is a neighborhood steeped in history, grand colonial buildings reborn as vibrant music venues.
Lapa has a bit of a colorful past, doesn't it? Can you tell us a bit about its transformation?
Well, imagine this. Back in the 19th century, Lapa was Rio's red light district, a place of clandestine encounters, bohemian allure. Over time, it shed that reputation, but the energy never faded. Today, those same streets echo with samba, choro. That's a uniquely Brazilian genre. It blends European and African influences, a whole kaleidoscope of music.
So it's not just about the party. It's about experiencing a place that's seen it all, transformed itself, come out even more vibrant.
Exactly, and that's just day one. Imagine ending your day not in some sterile hotel room, but immersed in Lapa's rhythm, feeling the history and the energy that defines Rio.
Okay, day one is an epic introduction to Rio. But there's so much more to the city than landmarks. We've got to get beyond the beaches, right? Delve into the hidden gems.
You bet. Day two is all about discovering the unexpected, the side of Rio that often surprises first-timers. And we're starting with an adventure into Tijuca National Park.
Yes. That lush forest we glimpsed on the train to Corcovado. That's more than just a pretty view, isn't it?
It's more than just pretty, it's practically a miracle. It's over 8,000 acres of rainforest in the middle of a bustling metropolis. Waterfalls, dense foliage, hiking trails that lead to panoramic vistas, even remnants of 19th century coffee plantations. Their moss-covered ruins whisper tales of Rio's past.
Wow, that's impressive. What kind of biodiversity can we expect to encounter in such a vast urban forest?
Well, it's home to hundreds of species of birds, monkeys that might just swing by to say hello, and plant life.
Oh, from delicate orchids to towering trees that have witnessed centuries of change.
Okay, hiking, waterfalls, a touch of history, maybe even a monkey sighting. It's amazing how nature and urban life coexist in Rio. What's next on our day two itinerary after this rainforest immersion?
We're heading to a neighborhood that's as vibrant and artistic as Rio itself, Santa Teresa. Imagine cobblestone streets lined with colorful houses, art studios tucked away in hidden courtyards, and an atmosphere that's both bohemian and welcoming.
Santa Teresa. I've heard it's like stepping back in time, with a touch of European charm mixed with that Rio flair. Exactly. And no visit to Santa Teresa is complete without the Escaleria Selarón. Picture a staircase, but not just any staircase. One adorned with over 2,000 pieces of vibrant tile. A kaleidoscope of color and texture, created by a Chilean artist as a tribute to his adopted city.
I've seen pictures of those stairs. They're mesmerizing. What inspired him to create such a unique masterpiece?
Jorge Selarón, the artist, he was captivated by Rio. He wanted to create something that reflected its energy and diversity. He started by covering the steps in front of his house with tiles. Then he started adding pieces he found in his travels, and even those gifted by visitors from all over the world. It became his life's work. It's a testament to the power of art to connect people and cultures.
It's more than just a staircase. It's like a living artwork.
Right.
A symbol of Rio's global spirit. Okay, rainforest adventures in Tijuca National Park and artistic inspiration in Santa Teresa. How do we end a day filled with such diverse experiences?
We end it by embracing one of Rio's most iconic rituals, sunset on Ipanema Beach. Imagine strolling along the golden sand, the gentle waves, the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange, pink, and purple. And in the background, the Trois Hermanos, those iconic twin peaks silhouetted against the twilight sky.
Now, Ipanema is famous, but is there anything specific we should look for? Any hidden gem within this iconic beach?
Absolutely. Look for the lifeguard stand known as Post 09. It's more than just a place to get a tan. It's a local landmark, a meeting point, and a symbol of Ipanema's beach culture.
Post 09, got it.
Okay.
So day 2 ends with a sunset stroll along Ipanema, the sounds of the waves, the taste of fresh coconut water, and the sight of those iconic peaks. It's amazing how Rio blends nature, culture, and urban life.
It's a city that's constantly surprising you with its contrasts and its harmonies, and believe me, we've only just scratched the surface.
I can't wait to dive even deeper into this incredible city. Day 2 sounds phenomenal, and I have a feeling day 3 is going to be just as unforgettable.
You know, I think it's important to touch on safety, as we're painting this picture of Rio.
Right, especially in a new city.
Exactly. Rio, like any big city, it has its challenges. But awareness, a little awareness goes a long way. Be mindful of your belongings, especially in crowds. Blend in. Don't flaunt expensive things,
Makes sense. Any other tips for navigating safely?
Trust your instincts. If a situation feels, off, it probably is. Stick to well-lit areas, populated areas, at night especially. Opt for taxis, or those ride-sharing services. Don't hail random cars. And remember, if someone's pushy or aggressive, it's okay to say no. Walk away.
Great advice. Being smart and aware. Okay, so we've covered safety. Back to the fun stuff. You mentioned coffee plantations in Tijuca National Park. I'm curious about that era of Rio's history.
It's fascinating. It's often overlooked, Imagine Rio in the 19th century. Not the beach paradise, but a major coffee producer. Those hillsides, all lush green now, they were covered in coffee plantations.
So hiking those trails, we're walking through like a landscape shaped by a different time.
Precisely. And speaking of layers of history, I know you're a football enthusiast.
Oh, yeah. It's practically a religion in Brazil.
So you could say that. And there's no better place to experience that passion than Maracana Stadium. Even if you can't catch a match, a visit is a must.
I've always dreamed of seeing a game there. A pilgrimage for any football fan.
Imagine yourself stepping onto that ground, feeling the energy, the roar of the crowds. They offer tours, behind the scenes, locker rooms, even onto the pitch.
Wow. That would be something else, not just watching, but breathing in the history.
Exactly. And speaking of legacy, let's talk about timing for the landmarks. We know Sugarloaf Mountain is best at sunset. What about Christ the Redeemer?
Good point. Is there an optimal time?
For Christ the Redeemer, I'd say embrace the early morning. Fewer crowds, crisp air, morning light. It's serene, almost spiritual.
So, morning for Christ the Redeemer, late afternoon for Sugarloaf. Got it. Now, Rio's tropical. Things can get pretty hot. Any tips for staying cool, comfortable, while we're exploring?
The Rio sun. Embrace it, but respect it, right? Stay hydrated, lots of water, fresh juices. And of course, that quintessential Rio, drink coconut water. Straight from the fruit.
Coconut water, check. Anything else we should pack to stay comfortable?
Lightweight clothing, breathable. Think cotton, linen, loose fitting. A hat is your best friend. Don't underestimate it.
Good advice. And sunscreen, obviously.
Absolutely, non-negotiable. Oh, and another tip, learn a few Portuguese phrases.
Great suggestion. Even if most people in tourist areas speak English, it shows respect.
Exactly. A simple bom dia or obrigado can go a long way. And speaking of connecting, let's delve into those hidden gems we promised. Beyond the well-known attractions, right? Rio is full of surprises.
Yes. I'm ready for those hidden treasures.
Yeah.
Where we can really feel the pulse of Carioca life. Where do we start?
Let's venture back to Santa Teresa. Remember the Escanaria Selarón? That's just the tip of the iceberg. This neighborhood, it's a haven for artists, musicians, those seeking, authentic Rio.
So beyond the steps, what else awaits us in Santa Teresa?
Imagine charming cafes, tables spilling out onto the cobblestone streets, art galleries showcasing local artists, each piece a story of Rio's creative spirit.
I can picture it. Sipping strong Brazilian coffee, the sounds of bossa nova, browsing unique artwork.
It is. And while you're there, visit Parque das Ruínas. It's not your typical park. History and nature intertwined.
Parque das Ruínas. The name is intriguing. Tell me more.
Okay, imagine a grand mansion. In ruins now. Walls overgrown with vines. Still elegant, though. It was once the home of a socialite, and today it's a public park. You can wander through it. Remnants of a bygone era.
A ruin with a story. I love it. Is there more to it than just, the history?
Oh, much more. From the top of the ruins, you get this panoramic view of the city. It's breathtaking. Sugarloaf Mountain, Christ the Redeemer, Guanabara Bay, all laid out before you.
Okay, Parque das Ruínas is on the list. History, architecture, a panoramic view.
And if you're looking to reconnect with nature, head to Jardim Botanico.
The botanical garden.
Yeah.
I've been to some that were, well, a bit underwhelming. What makes this one special?
Imagine a tranquil oasis. A world away from the hustle, but right in the heart of it. Over 6,500 species of plants from all over the globe. A tapestry of textures, colors, scents.
You've got me curious. What kind of plants are we talking about?
Think avenues of palm trees, their fronds swaying, collections of orchids, delicate blossoms, a riot of color, giant water lilies, their leaves so large they could practically support a child.
Giant water lilies. Now that's something you don't see every day.
And keep your eyes peeled for the monkeys. They swing through the branches, adding a touch of playful energy.
Monkeys in the botanical garden. Okay, that's on the list. So, charming cafes and ruins with a view in Santa Teresa, a tropical paradise with monkeys and giant water lilies in Jardim Botanico. What other hidden gems do you have?
Well, if you want a taste of history and a sweet treat, you can't miss Confiteria Colombo.
Confiteria Colombo, what is it?
Imagine stepping back in time to the Belle Epoque era. Elegance, grandeur. Confiteria Colombo is a historic tea room and confectionery shop, a RIo institution since the late 19th century.
Wow, a glimpse into Rio's past.
Stained glass windows, ornate mirrors, marble counters with delectable pastries. It's a feast for the eyes and the stomach.
More than just a coffee and pastry stop. It's an experience.
Precisely. They're known for their Portuguese pastries, the pastel de nata, a custard part. It's divine.
Okay, Confiteria Colombo is added. A taste of history and a delicious pastry.
And speaking of culinary experiences, you have to visit the Mercado Municipal de Rio de Janeiro, also called CADEG.
A market. I love exploring local markets. What makes this one special?
It's sprawling, a labyrinth of stalls overflowing with fresh produce, seafood, spices, cheese, every local delicacy, a sensory overload in the best way.
What should we look out for at CADEG?
You'll find exotic fruits, fresh seafood, vendors, they're hawking their wares with that carioca energy. It's a feast for the senses. A great place to experience, the heart of Rio's food scene.
CADEG is going on the list. Getting lost in the maze of stalls, sampling all the treats.
When you need a break from all that, grab a seat at one of the restaurants or food stands. You can find everything there, from traditional Brazilian to international.
So charming neighborhoods, botanical gardens, a historic tea room, a massive market. I think we've uncovered some incredible hidden gems in Rio.
Just scratch the surface, Rio keeps on giving. Around every corner, a new discovery. It invites you to explore, get lost in its rhythms, embrace the unexpected.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've reached the perfect point to pause our Rio deep dive.
We have, but don't go anywhere. Join us for part 3, where we'll explore Rio's beaches, its music, and uncover even more hidden gems.
You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to our Rio deep dive. We've explored so much already. Landmarks, hidden neighborhoods, the flavors of the city. But there's one essential Rio experience, one thing we haven't talked about yet. The thing that draws millions to its shores.
Ah, the beaches. You're talking about the beaches, right? Those legendary stretches of golden sand. They're practically synonymous with Rio.
Exactly. We can't talk about Rio without those iconic beaches. But I'm curious, beyond the famous ones, Copacabana, Ipanema, what other beach experiences are there in this coastal paradise?
Well, if you want a more laid-back vibe, a touch of luxury maybe, head to Leblon.
Leblon, interesting. But wouldn't that be similar to Ipanema? How's it different?
Imagine Ipanema, but a bit more mellowed out. Chic cafes on the sand, upscale boutiques along the beachfront. It's slower, more relaxed.
Leblon, for the sophisticated beach life.
Got it. What about those of us who want a bit more adventure? Any beaches for catching some waves?
Absolutely. If you're a surfer or want to